Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first ever Memolytics podcast, here where we discuss football topics that should be interesting at a philosophical level and a theoretical level. So this is where the level we're going to stay at. And today's discussion is going to be on the evolution of the goalkeeper and uh, and the transition up from goalkeeper and potentially to goal player. So these two terms will be discussed in this episode. And with me today, I have Mo and I have Miguel, and I'll let them both introduce themselves. So Mo, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Thanks, Memo. My name is Mohammed Artemi or Mo. I coach in Canada. I coach at academy level and also at youth sport at university level.
And Miguel.
Mm. Hi, everybody. My name is Miguel Martinez. I live in the US. I coach in the collegiate system as a goalkeeper coach slash goal player coach. And also the same position at the club level, working with boys and girls.
Fantastic. It's great to have you guys on. So initially we want to discuss first we want to create this reference and really get to understanding what goalkeeper actually means. What is this term? What does this role actually entail? So Miguel, you're the goalkeeper coach for your collegiate team. What does the word goalkeeper mean?
Goalkeeper, if I look at, do you want the universal reference, or do you want how it's been seen?
Ideally, we would want to be on a philosophical level. So what is true for everybody? This word goalkeeper.
It's the position's main function is defending or to defend. So shot stopping, keep the ball at the net as the position's highest order. But also now the goalkeeper is passing a lot within the team. He's integrated with the team. He's also within the 11 in the match. So the goalkeeper is philosophically shot stopper. But I'm not sure if it's seen as an equal to the field players.
And do you think the term goalkeeper accurately represents what the responsibilities are in today's game?
No, because the goalkeeper is involved in attacking and defending. If we say goalkeeper, we're automatically thinking defending because the main role of the goalkeeper is to keep the ball at the net, stopping shots. So goalkeeper is not seen as the same level of a field player, but as we talk about goal player, then I think it'll make sense, like on a superficial level.
And Mo, what do you, as a head coach, what do you, what have you seen from the past, from the goalkeeper position? How has it changed, and how have your expectations changed for this playing position?
I think for me, Memo, the change in that position happened like in early in the 90s, if we want to be very precise with the pass back when it comes to the game. That's the first change about the goalie player position, where we can say that he moved from the goalkeeper term into a goalie player because he's more involved in the attacking phase of the game as well. So the changes also by the time with all like the evolution that's happening in the football world and in the game in general, in specific, and how the coaches now demanded a lot of things from their teams and from their goalie players. And now the goalie player, I think it's he gave that terms of he defined the terms of 11 players on the field. uh, Back in the days, we could have said always and even if you've seen like it just triggers that conversation also unconsciously from the people, let's say the formation 4-4-2 or 3-5-2 or 4-3-3. They always like forget about the goalie. Now you can see the changes. most of the people now they will say, "What this team play with a 1-4-3-3 or 1-4-4-2 or 1-3-5-2, etc." So like the consider now the goalie as a player within the team, and I think the task or the like if you're gonna say like what the goalie now are required to do in the game, it just specifically to look like one of within the team. So it's 11 players with that person as well, not just a person that's sitting back and stopping shots or defending like a net. He's involved in attack. He's involved in the ball circulation. He's involved in switch of play. He's involved in even creating chances for the team or assisting the goals by sometimes like play longer balls or if that the opportunity arises or also playing short and finding different options on the field. So yeah, I think the goalie player position it does change a lot. When since the pass back I was introduced to the game and even is changing now even more and more now with and that probably will lead to the next in the conversation maybe now we need to think about a different way of training those goalies and
Yeah.
how we can integrate them within the team.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting hearing both you and Miguel speak because oftentimes the goalkeeper for majority of the training session, for majority of any coach's thinking, they often forget that the goalkeeper is an integral part of the team. Like you said, for example, when you say, hey, when coaches announce formations, they say 4-4-2. Yeah, but then this is a sloppy language because yeah, there's 11 players, but you only included 10. So yeah, the seeing the change with the pass back, it's given the goalkeeper more attacking responsibilities than the position has ever had before. And it's gonna take it might take a lot of time for people for the penny to drop for people to realize that hey, they also perform not only defending actions and attacking actions. And this is why I bring it up, like what does goalkeeper mean? Because when you critically look at the word, goalkeeping is primarily defending actions, like Miguel was saying. And yeah, but now with the pass back rule, now goalkeepers are performing more attacking actions than they ever have before. So they shouldn't be isolated or removed from the conversation when it comes to the team. And so with that being said, why do we still see training environments where the goalkeeper, even though the pass back, they perform attacking and defending actions just like a field player would, and look, the goalkeeper is also a field player because he's literally on the pitch with the other 10. Why are they trained in mostly in isolation? What do you think the reasoning is, Miguel?
It's something that's always been done, and no one has really questioned it. So there hasn't been an actual why. Like you, it's said that the isolation is training. It's goalkeeper training, yes, but do you want the goalkeeper to be training football actions, like actual goalkeeper actions in the actual game, or do you want the goalkeeper to be performing, or sorry, training basic actions? Basic actions mean not in a football environment, isolated, away. Now,
Before we continue with that, because then now we have to before we continue, for everyone who was viewing, can you give us step by step what a football action is or a goalkeeper action, and break down the components? Because I know what you mean, but maybe someone else might not know what you mean.
a goalkeeper action means it's an action within the football environment, and then the components, like the three ingredients of that action, just to use a metaphor, is the communication, the decision making, and then the execution. The communication cannot be done in isolation, because if we think about 11v11, there's 22 players on the field. If we take the goalkeeper into isolation, it's usually the goalkeeper coach, maybe three other goalkeepers kicking balls at each other, which is communication, but is not, football communication, because it's not the football environment. The decision making, if you look at I said the three ingredients were C, D, and E. If we look at D, there's two ingredients that make up the D: the deciding what, and then the deciding how of the what. Now, the deciding what means that the goalkeeper is trying to contribute to the C, the communication. I did miss this. The communication is also seen as the tactics, because it's an interaction within 22 players. But if you look at our own team, there's 11, and we're trying to together contribute to something. So the deciding what is how the goalkeeper contributes to that something. And how they do it is based on their position, the moment, direction, the speed, in the situation. We're looking at the execution is what we see. It's technique, the technique of the passing. Is it the shot stopping? Is it intercepting a pass? Is it covering a pass line? Right. So CDE is the football action, and we don't get that in isolation. We get that in a football environment. 11v11 is the best way to do it, but sometimes it needs to be simplified. 9v9, 7v7, 4v3, 2v1, 1v1, 1v0, and that's where the exception to the rule comes with the goalkeeper training in isolation. If 11v11 and 9v9, 7v7, and down below is too hard, then we go to 1 versus 1 or 1 versus 0, which is the isolation. The goalkeeper coach working with the goalkeeper and 2 or 3 other goalkeepers in the isolation training.
So in summary, the goalkeeper action has 3 components. Component at the level of communicating, which is ideally is within football environment. Then you have the decision making of the goalkeeper, so deciding what, so maybe choosing an individual intention, and then the how is how he's going to accomplish his individual intention, and the executing, so then he actually performs the action. Pop-up, is a goalkeeper action something else than a football action, or is it a specification of the football action?
A specification, because unless it's a throw-in, the field players cannot use their hands in attacking actions.
Because then I would also have to say forward action. I would also have to say center mid action. So maybe a football action covers the whole spectrum, and then we get specific with the playing position. Yeah, very good. And then you also said that communicating or communication is non-existent in isolated training, and it's also missing decision making. So decision making is also non-existent in isolation training. But Mo, I have a question for you as a head coach. Before we go back to Miguel, as a head coach, why do head coaches think that goalkeepers in isolation are going to improve their ability to contribute to the team on match day? Where are we missing where's the connection missing for a lot of head coaches?
I think, Mimo, lots of it's a lack of understanding or lack of believing that they understand about the position. That's the first thing. And sometimes maybe some of the head coaches, I would say they are incompetent to challenge themselves to understand about that position. So they will say, well, I'm gonna contract a goalie coach to do this because I don't know about it. It's just like contracting as well somebody else doing something else within the team. And also, it's more like a traditional way of doing things for me that we're still like stuck in some traditional, I don't know how to say it exactly, but like beliefs on how, okay, well, if the goalie go work with a goalie coach, he's gonna get better in a game because he's gonna teach him how or teach her how to stop shots, how to handle the balls, how to do this and that, how to play a goal kick, longer ones, how to uh, uh, intercept the crosses on all those basic actions. And when at the same time we are pretty much like what Miguel mentioned, we're just doing the E in here, the execution in in this isolation training or in this training isolation, where we're still missing the communication with the team and also the decision of the what and the how. So it's easy to bring a goalie, put him in a piece of land on the field, and keep feeding him with balls. Okay, to stop shot, but it is very difficult to bring that same goalie on Saturday to a game, and you're asking him to align himself with other 10 players on the field to contribute also to the team intention. Okay, so bring that individual intention to contribute to the team intention on the week. So I think most of it, it's the head coaches either incompetent to create situations where they can integrate the goalie coach with them in the same training session and work together. And also a part of it, it's still stuck in the okay, only a goalie was the only person that can understand about that position.
So from what I gathered is that there for a lot of head coaches out there that there's a lack of understanding about the playing position. So they know what they don't know. So maybe they are consciously incompetent. So they know what they don't know. And like you said, they don't search for new references, maybe new knowledge, whatever the reason is. So it's easier for them to hire a specialist or quote unquote specialist and say, here you go. You work over there and I'm gonna work over here. Am I correct?
Yeah, exactly. But at the miscommunication here, Memo, it's at the same time it's on the weekend in the game. It's that head coach who decide how the team want to play, and it's him who decide how the goalie should play with the team. But he only works with that goalie like for the last piece of the session when there is a 11v11 game or there is like a 9v9 game. You bring him just basically just to stop shots in the net. And when they go to the weekend, then they start to demand a lot from that goalie, how to communicate with for example, with the back four, or how to communicate with the midfielders, or how even sometimes even farther, how to communicate with the front line of the team. So so it is like it's a incompetent or by choice, if I'm allowed to say that.
You're allowed to
Or
say
maybe, or maybe the head coaches they don't want to work, put extra effort to create situation to include those goalie coaches with them within the same sessions.
I think that will be later on in our discussion because it's also very interesting. It would be very interesting to understand how to better incorporate the goalkeeper coach in the process of making sessions. So then aligning your staff